Great. Okay, so this is a chakra meditation. It's going to help you balance your chakras, but also we're going to visualize the colors. So it's really specific to creativity, I feel. And it's something that I don't always go through all the chakras and do this, but if I notice like, oh, I'm having a hard time speaking or something, and I like visualize the color blue, for instance, it really helps. And maybe you've done this before too. So we're going to either if you want to keep your eyes open and look, that's just fine. Or if you want to close them, whatever works for you. So get started here. So we're going to start by rooting down into the root chakra and have the color red here to just like help you really focus on your desire for rooting down, what that means to you. And I also have some kind of like magenta color from this bougainvillea. I don't know what color it looks like in the camera there. You can kind of see it more, but it's really like a very passionate color. So you can really tap into your deep passions down, by rooting down too. So don't be afraid of that, and to really channel creativity from a very deep place, from feeling your feelings completely and all the way, and remembering how they are real. So we're going to move now to the sacral chakra and have some bright orange for the sacral chakra. So this is really what is known as the creative center, and there's creativity throughout your whole being, right? But this is really the place where there's that whole flow of creative energy and that manifesting that happens from like kind of visualizing and into intuitive third eye, and then you can really channel it and help get it out there. On your sacral chakra, it's also about intimacy, sexuality, so it's safe to just go to those places and see it all as one thing. And if you're here, everyone here is an adult. Sometimes they do these for kids, so it's like you've already gotten to the place where you're at to be, a mature being. Like you've naturally earned that just from your, being an adult, that you can like both access your inner child and like your full sexual and intimate nature. And this is really helpful to your union as well, of course. So then we're going to move on to the powerhouse, like where your sun is, the solar plexus. And that's yellow. So really just focus for a moment on claiming all of your power to just be. You don't need to do something to be. You don't need to prove something to be. You don't need to make something look pretty to just be. You're just naturally powerful. And I also have some citrine crystal here. And even if you have your eyes closed, you could just feel into it. But yeah, so there's some citrine crystal, and it's just here to help remind you of how powerful you are, and like to tap really into that creative energy and abundance. Citrine's a very abundant crystal as well. So we're going to move now to really the center of everything, and that is your heart chakra. So for the heart chakra, I have both green, and for the high chakra, I have some pink and also some strawberry quartz too, which is very nurturing. So yeah, just feel into the center of your heart. Feel how you desire to be loved, and just provide that love for yourself right now in that place. And let the divine in there with you. Just allow yourself to be witnessed loving yourself, and allow yourself to be fully loved. And there's no separation there. And then you can invite your whole union there too. You can invite your whole harmonious twin flame union into this place. And the truth is, there's already just perfection within you. You're already there. So you can always just access this place and choose to refine your vibration so that you can really live in this place. So we're going to move on now to the throat chakra. This is a really good one for creativity too, something maybe you don't automatically think of, but just expressing yourself through talking, through voice, and even your inner voice. And actually, sometimes, talking to yourself even in a way that feels healthy. So just go ahead and take a moment to really love your throat chakra. There's a lot going on there, right? There's like also your thyroid is in that area, which is kind of visually like a butterfly. And so it really is about like transforming, your a creative expression into something that you can share with others. And so it's like sky blue or ocean blue. And it's also about like translating your emotions as well in a way that can be shared. So we're going to move on now to the third eye, your intuition. Let's see if you can, yeah, good. So I have some labradorite here for that. And you can really just tap into that very clear, crystal clear place and just allow yourself to see whatever it is that God would have you see. And know that that is safe. And know that that can change too. Like the truth does not change, but on your way to the full truth and discovering the full truth, what you see is a journey. And it's beautiful. So you can just choose beauty there as well, and to root out anything in your consciousness that feels not peaceful when you visualize when you see it, but also know that it's guiding you actually into deeper beauty within you. And then we have the crown chakra on the very top, the high chakras, and I have some white and gold and some purple because I know we have different ideas about this. And I kind of like the idea of all three. It's like a beautiful crown on the top of your head where you can really receive divine wisdom, but also you can sometimes naturally expand this place to allow yourself to release what no longer serves you. And this also helps you clear your third eye, clear all your chakras, really. But yeah, it's safe to allow your crown chakra to breathe. Sometimes it's inhaling and sometimes it's exhaling, and it's all good. Beautiful. So then you can just like kind of go back down through your chakras back to your third eye and just appreciate your third eye chakra, appreciate your throat chakra, appreciate your heart chakra. Just take a moment there, really love yourself and appreciate that beautiful, like kind of green, nurturing quality to it. And then your solar plexus, powerhouse, your sacral chakra, and really allowing that to just, expand and feel good and help you root down even more into your root chakra. And when you are ready, you can take a moment, move around, and open your eyes if they're closed. We'll come back. Beautiful. So I see a lot of people with cameras off and everything, and that is all good. Just will double check. Okay, it looks like we are good. So does anyone have anything they wanted to share or ask before we move on? Feel good? All right.
Yeah, that looks really good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's see. So now we are going to move on to taking a moment to like what attracted you to this workshop, to take an hour of your time today. I mean, yeah, it's free, so like that might have been like a good incentive. I know that always helps, right? But also like what do you really hope to receive today, or what about it, is of interest to you? If you want to share, you can. You can take a moment to write down just one thing. So we're just going to take a moment with that and feel into creativity and abundance. for free. What is it that is appealing about that? Does anyone want to share anything?
I'll share.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just say too, like when you were doing the sacral chakra, I felt suddenly very, very tired. And I have a lot of blockage in my gut. So I think what attracted me here was I want to say I lost my creativity, but I set it aside at a really young age. And I'd really like to awaken that again, because I think that's one of my area where I'm blocked.
Good. Very good. So, do you feel that you have the power right now to unblock it, or do you feel like there's something that you need outside of you to unblock it for you?
Well, I know there's probably nothing outside of me. It's just me claiming back my power to express myself again.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And is it safe to go through that process?
Yes.
And does it can it just feel easy and fun? And if it doesn't, you can just move through that upset with the mirror exercise?
Yeah. Yeah. Fun sounds good.
Good. Yes. Fun. Okay, good. So I think fun is something that some of us may have came here for, not even necessarily oh, this is going to be a fun workshop. I mean, yeah, totally. But to have fun in your life, right? With creativity and abundance. And also I know for me, it's how can my life purpose actually be fun too? Can I somehow infuse this into how I actually am supported, in my life in some way? So maybe that's for you. Maybe it's just something on the side right now for healing, or both. So yeah, just feel into that. And then what I want you to do is just bring complete peace to that place of your consciousness, in that desire that you have for what you want to receive from this workshop, and see if there's anything blocking that peace, like an upset. And I think everyone here knows how to do a mirror exercise. So if there's something blocking your peace, just take a moment to ask that part of yourself what you need to feel loved. You probably already have the upset, because that would be the upset, is that you're not feeling what it is that you're desiring to get from the workshop, right? And give yourself all the love there. Even if it's just I need more art supplies, then give yourself the feeling of having art supplies. I need better technology. I need support. I need to feel loved for what I do. I need to feel like my art doesn't look like crap, whatever it is. Just give yourself all the love and reassurance there that yeah, you're worthy of being creative and abundant. All right. One more time. Okay. So, does anyone have anything to share or ask after that? Okay. Good.
For me, similar reason too, because I push my creativity aside to focus on what I thought would be my career. And as I was feeling into it, I was feeling this fear of knowing what my creativity is. So the fear of failure. So therefore, the fear of not even exploring it. So I was just feeling into that and loving myself there. Feeling, because if I hold on to this fear, then I can't even explore what areas my creativity lies in. So yeah, that was good to have that awareness of why I'm not clear in this area.
Yeah, thank you. That's helpful. Do you feel like being creative is kind of unsafe because it could actually like take from your life purpose somehow?
Yeah, I had this fear that being creative, will not be financially supportive, and therefore I should push it aside. And then now, when I'm feeling into it, I was feeling like I might just fail in it also. So then it won't even be a career, and definitely not financially lucrative. And I was keeping it separate. Like I was thinking, life purpose cannot be creative; it will be mundane.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Boring.
that's a
Yeah.
really good upset to work through, but it's a good thing to highlight because it does bring me into this next activity that I think this is going to be just a fun, easy way to kind of ease us into more creativity. So what I want you to do is think of 3 things that you can do this week to create wealth in your life. And what is creating wealth? Creating wealth can look like you take a set of ingredients and you whip it all together and you create something that you can eat where you wouldn't have eaten those ingredients probably, as you know, you at least wouldn't have enjoyed them as much on their own. So that is creating wealth. Maybe you are going to, create wealth through, you're going to do something that you love and you're going to be compensated for it. You're going to receive financially from it. Maybe you're going to create wealth by having a conversation with someone and, really empowering them somehow. Maybe you're going to create wealth by cleaning up your own environment and making more, rearranging furniture, making more space where you live. So just 3 ways that you're going to create wealth. Maybe it's an energy leak in your finances. Maybe you're going to stop subscribing to like some magazine that, you just kind of forgot about, you noticed on your credit card or some whatever, So that's another way of creating wealth. Just closing up those energy leaks. If you want to write these things down, you can. If you just want to think about them, that's fine. Does anyone want to share one or more of the ways that they're planning on creating wealth this week? Or if you want to drop anything in the chat, you can too, or not.
I can't think of anything.
You can't think of anything that will create wealth in your life?
No, it's like I'm totally blocked.
What do you, like that you don't do anything during your day that feels like, oh my God, like I'm gonna like, I made this really nice bubble bath for myself. I'm gonna like get to enjoy it now. Like you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do have baths. Yeah.
Isn't
And
that
I do cook quite a bit.
Well, isn't that like something you would pay for? Like you would pay to go to the spa, right? Like, or you would pay for some of the food that you cook, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you see how that's creating wealth for yourself?
Yeah, and I might have people for dinner Sunday night, so I'll be creating wealth for them.
Okay, so you're also sharing your wealth, creating it and sharing it.
Mm.
Do you feel like that wealth is going to be like come back to you? Like you're going to be able to receive from giving?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyone else? All right. Cool. Well, I hope that was a fun activity because it's going to help you feel into more if you actually want to create financial wealth too in abundance with creativity, this is a good place to start, because you're going back to your foundation, right? You're going back to like self-care. You're going back to like your home environment. And if you can kind of master, even in just little ways, creating wealth in these sort of pockets where you already have an easy in, you know, you already have an oven, you already have like spoons to mix things probably. Then you start to see how like, okay, like this can be applied to somehow like something business related as well, if that's the direction you want to go in. And creativity looks so many different ways, right? Like you don't even like, maybe it looks like designing a website, not like you need to be a website designer, but even just you deciding to implement it or you deciding to improve it, and either having someone help you or whatever it is. Like it's just about creating something, you know. It's not necessarily about doing art, although doing art is going to help you too, like even if it's just something simple. Because when you put that pen to paper or paintbrush to paper or whatever, you're literally manifesting something, right? Like you're like, I want the color pink on here. So you're going to mix the color pink and you're going to put it on there. Maybe you're going to make a heart. And I mean, you just made a heart. Like it's there. And there is something to that there is value to that. And it does help you feel something inside too, like being expressed. So then when you start to think, oh, I want to share with this canvas how I feel about my twin flame, or how I just feel about peace, you know, and God, and you start putting that on paper, that's very powerful. You can take it from there. And it's not about necessarily what you create, but it is about the feeling of communion you have while creating it. You're not in charge of how it's received by the world, right?
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Good.
Because when you mentioned like mixing colors and wanting to put pink on a paper, and maybe it's just a heart, or cooking something, I was just thinking that these are activities that I just took for granted. I didn't really look at them as manifesting or creating. I just thought of it as, I'm just cooking something for me to eat, like just some mundane activity. And just, drawing a heart is just a routine, simple thing. But, when you put it as, manifest and create, I was like, oh, I'm thinking of manifestation and creation as this exquisite, like miracle, and thinking it's just this, miraculous thing, which happens very rare. And but forgetting that even these are manifestations and creations, and it it's not ordinary, like so that was a good way to receive that.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. It made me think while you're talking. I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good about the steak that I created a night or two ago. Like it felt like a miracle to me. I was hungry and it was really good.
But I think I was correlating manifestation to magic, like a magic trick, like something just coming out from the air,
Yeah.
Whereas something that is impossible and then suddenly it happens. And I wasn't correlating that even something like cooking a perfect meal is a manifestation, is a creation. So it was good to bring it down, so it's like keeping those unreal expectations and staying there, rather than coming back down and understanding that everything is a manifestation and a creation, and so it's not impossible to have that.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And exactly, like that's how we get to those higher places, because then you're actually like building whatever it is to get there. And you're also not so focused on the one thing, you know, like having riches or the mansion, or maybe it's, you know, just having your union, you know, like your harmonious union with your twin flame, but kind of like pushing away your life purpose, just being like, I just want this person, you know, like all of these things are going to be problematic because you're not really like seeing what God sees for you. And so when you just see everything that you're doing as like a creative process, then you're really like expanding your whole foundation pretty like peacefully, pretty stably. And you might find cracks there. You might find yourself appearing to move backwards in a way, like you know, losing financially, or you're something going on with your relationships or whatever it is. But it's nothing that wasn't already like there waiting for you to go deeper with and actually heal. And so you have to really just look at, well, do I actually feel more peaceful now or before? Like I was trying to convince myself recently, like maybe I was happier, you know, like doing this other thing a couple years ago. I mean, I wasn't trying to convince myself. I just had an upset. But anyways, I was looking at some pictures of myself and I was like, yeah, I think like maybe this was better. Cause I was also before COVID, and, you know, pictures of me going places around town. And so I was looking at myself, and then I scrolled up and I looked at, and then I saw the pictures of myself and things from more recently. And I was like, oh my God, no, I'm actually way happier now. I don't know what I needed to explore there, like what that was about. I guess I just needed to, you know, have some gratitude. So even if something in your life is like, why isn't this moving forward? Maybe like just look at your overall creative process and like, where does it feel peaceful? And this is going to bring us into the next thing, which is, um, and then we're going to get into like a little more hands-on activity, but it says, it's funny, I wrote it down. What looks good in your life, and how is this setting parameters for you to heal at this time? So my example is, when I first moved into this place, the refrigerator was broken, but the freezer worked. And so I bought a bunch of frozen food, which I wasn't at the time used to. Is like cooking, you know, pretty good with cooking and taking care of myself in that way. But I actually had some childhood healing to do that God was pointing me towards. And so having some frozen, like kind of, you know, more like fun food, like just, I don't know, like mac and cheese or this and that, and getting creative in a different way with food and like just letting myself enjoy it. It wasn't something I wanted to do forever. I mean, you know, of course, like having a refrigerator, but there was something there where I was creating wealth with just like, not with bypassing the upset, but with looking at what was there for me to work with and appreciating it all the way. So just feel into if there's something like that for you right now. For me, what I'm feeling into is my art supplies. Literally, they're kind of around me right now, and how I actually like have a decent amount of them, and I could do more here, um, rather than focusing on some of the things that I don't like have creatively speaking. Just feeling into the support that I do have to express myself and choosing that. And this is also meant to help you from stopping like scattering your energy, because I noticed what I've been doing recently is like sharing over here or trying to work on this and that and the other thing. And now that I'm doing this activity with you, I'm feeling into, okay, like let's look at some of the stuff in my reality too, not just like my internet reality or not just what I want to do, you know, when I can, but what's right here to work with. And let's appreciate it a little bit more by actually working with it. And so I choose to devote some of my energy to yeah, really like working with it.
Yeah, what's coming up for me is earlier is that I really need to be heard. I really want to be heard and seen. And as you were just talking now, I realized that I've been kind of like what Anupama was saying about like making that a big thing. Like, you know, I have to start a YouTube channel and put myself out there. And as you were just talking now, I realized I could just sit with my computer, record myself, and practice, and just see what comes out of my mouth, and just be with that for a while, instead of putting this big pressure on myself that I have to put myself out there in the big wide world.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Like, I mean, maybe you share it with one person, or maybe you don't share it with it. Maybe you just share it with yourself. But that's another thing that that comes to mind when you say that, is sharing. I think sometimes it's the same thing with like manifesting that huge thing way over there. It's like, oh, well, when I do share, I have to share it with everyone. And I mean, I get caught up in that too, for sure. But sharing it, sometimes it's just appropriate. Like, all God is calling you to do is just share it with one other person, or just share it completely, even with yourself and with God. And then you get the next step. And maybe like you sharing it with that person, maybe that person just vibes out of your life, but somehow it's still shared. And then it'll come back, you know, over here in a way you'll kind of receive back from that. Of course, like, you know, you share because it feels good, not to like receive back, but knowing that that happens, and that like you can just have complete faith in that, it does help to like really kind of, you know, get that whole cycle flowing more peacefully. Like, you know, just let that happen. Yeah, and just feel, you know, feel into what feels good to share. Sometimes it doesn't feel good to share something, and you think you have to kind of like,
Mm.
you know, be an exhibitionist or something like that. That could be like a creative, like, I don't know, issue, or just like something in the creative world that's, it's kind of like, you know, pushing yourself in a way that doesn't actually feel good. It can be an energy leak. But then at the same time, maybe that thing that you didn't feel comfortable sharing a year ago, you actually do want to share now in a way that it is more, you know, coming from a peaceful place because you healed through it, or whatever it is. Um, so yeah, I think that's perfect. And then just see if, yeah, maybe you want to share it with one person, or maybe you want to just share something. Like, what I noticed for me is when I just share like something small, then I actually get in the mode of sharing. Like, I started sharing what I was doing with my students, or just in classes, but I didn't try to like make a production of it. I just, you know, took a picture. Sure, I edited the picture and this and that, and kind of put some effort into it, but like it was something that I already did anyway. Like, I didn't have to do anything extra to share it, really. You know, maybe you're making dinner for a bunch of people. Maybe you want to share like maybe you don't, but maybe you want to share like your table setup, or like the food that you make, you know. And then you've shared that, like you've shared something uh with the world, or with whoever. And then people have like a kind of a way in to your unique gifts too, what it is you're doing.
Yeah, like I've been sharing on the the forum,
Right.
and that's really new for me, because in my own Facebook friends, I don't have anything in common with most of those people. They're all like people from my past, or people on a different path. And so it's been very healing to do that, and to receive positive feedback from people. So yeah, I'd like to like take the next step and do more videos of myself speaking, because my throat chakra has been healing, and I really feel like I need to let myself speak more.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah. So is there anything stopping you from doing that?
I think it's perfectionism. Like I've been asked to give to do a video for as feedback for MAP, and it's been over a week and I haven't done it. And I've been using the excuse that I've been in upheaval. But yeah, it's just a story I'm telling myself that I'm not going to do it right or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel good about making a video, or would you prefer to do like a written testimonial, or do you want to make this video? Do you have a
I do
desire?
want to make the video. Yeah, I do.
Good. So you have the desire, and is it just safe to let God show you like when is a good time? Like there's no deadline for this, right?
No.
Do you trust yourself that you will do it and not like put it off forever?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, like MAP, you do go through a lot of upheaval in MAP, and sometimes you think, oh, I'm totally going to do this next week, and then it's like every time you like think you're going to do it, it's like, whoa, I'm in upheaval. I mean, that's kind of what I experienced, sort of like the first few weeks. So I mean, it was weird because I would be fine and I would be able to get some things done, and then it was like kind of as soon as I got those things done, I needed to relax. So maybe you just have a little bit more to process, and then it might be easier to make your video anyway. So don't like kind of put pressure on yourself. It already sounds like it's totally like on the top of your to-do list. And it doesn't need to be anything, you don't need to like overshare, or just, I guess what I mean by that, share things that you don't really feel like sharing right now, or maybe you feel like sharing everything, but like just let it be easy, and let yourself feel safe and peaceful doing it. And it's okay to like kind of explore those places. You don't need, the other side of that is not restricting yourself from talking about things. Like if you're not 100% sure how they're going to come off, if you're doing it from a place of love, then it's fine. The worst case is you re-record it anyway, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for sharing that too. You're going through that. So we're going to move on to a little fun activity. Now, I don't know what device you all are on, and so if you can do this, like in, right now, that would be great, or you can write down an idea, but it's just kind of a mini vision board. It's like a simplified vision board activity. I find it really helpful. And so what I want you to do is find a picture that you like, either on Pinterest or Google or whatever, of something that is like a higher aspiration, like something that, you would be really cool if you could manifest that palace right now, or manifest that, I don't know, beautiful dress, that like spa retreat, just romantic date with your twin flame in the most beautiful beach in the world, whatever. So maybe you don't want like people in your photo. Maybe you want to keep it more of a blank canvas, or like, I know what I did for mine. Let's see if it shows up on my screen. Oh, no, oops. Okay. I think so. Yeah, you could kind of see it. Oops. Well, there we go. So, I just did a place that I really liked, and it was a place not too far from me. I think I found it on Pinterest by the beach. And so I just took a picture and I put it on my phone as a background. And before that, my phone's background was a really beautiful tree, but I'd had it there for like 2 years or something. And I actually did have some cool progress after I did this activity. So for me, it works, but it's also like, then I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going for, you know? So it's a constant reminder. And then I also put one on my, let's see if I can get my screen blank here and I could just share it really quick. Hopefully it's not too much. So yeah, I just found this picture that I really liked of, house at the beach. And I kind of like this style. I mean, maybe it's not 100% what I want, but I like the cozy bungalow. Um, and so every time I start at my computer or whatever, this is what I see now. And I'm like, oh, this is for me. So this is a simplified vision board activity because you just put it on your digital device and it's just one picture of something that you would like to manifest that, would really like support you completely. And don't hold back, like if it's like a huge, amazing palace, I mean, go for it. But whatever feels good to you. So you guys want to take a minute to do that right now? And or at least maybe you don't need, like see if you don't want to like actually take the time to like change it, or you can, but just like take a moment to search if you're not going to like, be kicked out of the meeting if it's not too much. And just look through a few photos or write down a few ideas. So I'm going to give you like a couple minutes to do that. And if you want to unmute and say anything, that's fine. So if you're able to do this right now, I want you to like really visualize yourself in this place or with this thing that you're looking at or that you wrote down. Like I just decided to, make it easy. Like I just looked up some beach houses. Well, it's kind of hard to see at the screen, but it's an easy thing to do. I like beach houses. Maybe you do too. So just like seeing it as like, yeah, this is for me. Like this isn't something separate from me. And then when you put it on your device and really like start to see it every day, until maybe you're ready to switch it out, whether it's a week from now or a year from now. See what progress you've made too with moving towards that desire, if your desire changed. And see what other, in what other ways you can start implementing this, a similar kind of activity. Or even if you have social media, maybe you want to start kind of, maybe you don't want to like have someone else's like house on your Facebook like background picture, but maybe you want like something beautiful there if you don't already have something that really kind of expresses where you're at, but also like your desires to your creativity, something along those lines. So it's just It also helps you get clear on your personal style, which of course, I mean, your style isn't just like going to be just wear plaid all the time or just like modern homes or whatever. But at the same time, you do have like preferences for things, and it's safe to really tap into that and to get clear there, because that also helps you manifest. Like the more clear and specific you are, the easier it is to really clear that block where you're like magnetizing stuff to you from within you. And you can't control, right, like what it actually looks like. And Jeff and Shirley really talk about this. I mean, especially in life purpose class, but both, it's like you have the desire, you move towards it and everything, but then you have to surrender to God, like what God actually is going to bring you and why. But that doesn't mean at any point that you stop desiring something that you desire. Yeah. Looks like someone, I guess Vicky. Yeah, so anything there that anyone wants to share? If not, that's okay.
I like that you said to choose one picture, because generally on a vision board they say put everything, and so it was that was nice. It's like what we say, take it one step at a time. So that felt like less pressure also in a way, to just put one thing at a time, focus on one thing.
Good. Yeah, for me, why I liked it, like coming up with that was helpful for me because I could really put myself into one place then, It's like I could see myself every time I open my phone in this like bedroom looking out at the ocean, rather than like kind of a bunch of things. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with making a vision board, and I might do a workshop on that sometime, but for something that you look at all the time, this is just, it's like you kind of start to like merge with it, right?
Yeah, and especially like keeping in mind like what I shared earlier about how I was looking at like manifestation and creation as these magical things. When you have too many things that you're trying to it can get a little overwhelming, or like pressure, like how am I gonna do it? But it makes, now with this awareness that even cooking is a manifestation, is a creation, making it simpler, bringing it down, then focus on one at a time makes it easier in a way. I mean, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, because it's all at the core. Like it is all one thing. And so it's kind of clearing away that separation you have between this thing and that thing by looking at it where the piece is, but then applying something visual to it. And for me, something that's very easy to apply is like a really nice home or outdoor space, because that's like, automatically like takes me into that place within.
Yeah, same here. It's nice to visualize a home on the beach.
Yeah, and maybe it's like a home on the mountains for someone, or maybe it's like just one room, one corner of one room or whatever. Like, I was looking at art studios there too for a little bit, like pictures of art studios. That was fun just to see, how people decorate and stuff too. Because I wasn't giving myself permission for a while, like, oh, this is a waste of time. Why would I do that? But if you don't take the time to do that, it's like people who take the time for themselves to do that, that's because they actually desire it, and that does help you get there. So just keep that in mind too. If you notice yourself being like, oh no, I don't have time to think about how I would decorate this room if I could, or whatever, but then resistance.
That's also investing in yourself, taking care of these details.
Exactly. Yeah. And even if you aren't going to actually go get the furniture right now or the whatever, it doesn't even matter, because you've already kind of like started to carve it out.
Yeah, and you're getting clear on knowing what you like versus what you don't want to have.
Exactly. And maybe you'll change your mind, but if you don't go there and explore, then you won't you won't know. And there's so many cool things in this world, that's what they're there for.
True. You're right. It's good to explore, to get clearer. Yeah, and investment, even the way you spoke about wealth was very, enlightening, because again, like wealth, I always equate with money, but creating wealth is creating happiness, and abundance is not necessarily only about the financial abundance. It's about how much of happiness and joy and fulfillment you have in your life. So that was good. And from that point of view, looking at these and looking at houses, or what you like, and getting clear is investment is also not always about how much money you put in yourself. It's about how much of time you put into getting to know yourself, right?
Yeah. And I mean, that money has to come from somewhere, right? Like if you're really doing it with God and creating wealth, then like where is it coming from and why, and all of these things. And when I feel that when you do see abundance this way, that it actually helps with your financial flow as well. Because it is about money in a lot of ways, right? Like, I mean, there's nothing separate from it being about money, even though it's not like, if you're just about money, then that could be a big problem, because like you could be blindsided by, your values and things like that. But I don't think any of us here like have that particular issue to a great extent, although I know that I have experienced times where I've seen a little bit of contrast, because I do kind of, have a specific goal or this or that, instead of looking at the whole thing and how I actually feel. So that's why that's important. And, feeling your feelings is going to help you create art. So remembering that your feelings are real, and that your abundance does come from your feelings. And this doesn't mean you can't apply logic to your feelings. This doesn't mean they're separate, right? But feeling your feelings all the way through, not just to the place where it feels really bad and there's a, really gross version of you in the corner with like, that looks like a zombie. But actually, working through that upset, that if you keep on following that particular feeling all the way through, there's a great deal of peace there, and something worth having and worth sharing. Because that's how you're created. You're created with that whole feeling. So you can literally like express your feelings visually or with sound, or through food sometimes. Spicy food has a certain feeling to it. So we're going to do just like, well, is there any questions about anything? You guys have any questions or any thoughts further?
What came up for me was when I was looking at images, was how easily my mind went into, oh, this would be too good to be true. So
that sounds like some resistance, because I mean, have you ever been in a nice place? Like, have you ever your place actually, I'm not trying to like scope out your place, but it looks pretty nice. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, so the story with my place is that I'm living in a house that my brother had built, and he passed away 4 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm actually really blessed to have a beautiful house, and I didn't design it, I didn't build it, I didn't pay for it. And I live in a very, very small village in a remote area. So
wow.
I don't particularly like the area, but I love the house. So
you love some things about where are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in the middle of British Columbia.
Oh, okay, cool.
Canada. Yeah. I'm in the mountains. So
wow. Yeah.
but I love the ocean and I really miss the coast. Yeah, but yeah, financial circumstances are making it that I'm here right now. And
Yes, you can make the most of where you are, but you can also, if you have a desire, it's safe to fully explore that and to just like see what's there. You know, you don't know, like, I mean, maybe it's just a beach house in the summer that you go, or you're able to afford to rent for like a couple weeks next summer, like in Maine or something, or Canada. I don't know what the beach. I just know Maine because like I've been there, but and it's not that far. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Wait, what side of Canada is that?
west. I'm on the west
Oh,
side.
you're on the west. Oh, okay. So never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then, so what? Like you could go down the West Coast, right? And if you got like a cheap plane ticket or something, and I bet airfare there might be some good deals. So it's just something to think about, though. Like maybe it's not going to look right away like you're going to be able to move into this house, but maybe you would be able to like take a vacation in a nice place if that's something you're interested in, or maybe that is going to somehow get funneled into a different desire that but like if you don't actually allow yourself to release resistance to just embracing that, then it's kind of like it's really not different than loving your twin flame and like loving God, because like God is really asking for you to like love this desire.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
Good. Yeah, so I would really love to see you just enjoy your beach house or whatever it is exploration more. Yeah.
Me too.
Good. So anything else? Just about getting close here. Okay, cool. So I have a creative workshop that's going to keep going on. If you're interested in joining it, this is going to be more hands-on. So we are going to like do some actual creative work in it. But the cool thing is that it's like, even if you only want to use your computer or digital stuff, or just even if you only have a pencil and some paper, like I'm very flexible, with how it's going to go. Right now, it's on Saturdays at I think 12:30 and 7 p.m. So you choose a time. So if that interests you, you probably saw like the announcement for it. But if not, and you want the link, you can go to my website or let me know, and you can just sign up for it. And yeah, it's going to be every week. And if it's something you're interested in, or you're like, I really can't make those times, I'm also, I would be open to potentially offering it at other times if that doesn't work for someone. So feel free to communicate with me about that. Does anyone have any questions about that, about like the creative workshop and what's offered there?
So if my creative outlet would be writing and recording myself, how would that work during the workshop?
What I'm doing at this point, because there's not like, it might change over time, like if it turns into something that's like a big thing, right? But since it's smaller, I can really individualize it for who's there, and I know that God's going to put the perfect like combination there to really like get into it. And personally, I like both. I like writing and visual video, like editing and recording and all that. And I also like the visual art. I mean, I just said visual, you know what I mean? So so yeah, I mean, I would like encourage a little bit of drawing, even if you're writing, you know what I mean? Like kind of maybe doing some symbols or doing something, because I think there's something about like getting the whole flow going there for oneself. But the creative process does involve like the written word. And so like if you're like, I want to join but I'm not sure because I really want to focus on that, I would say join. And right now I'm just doing like the 4-week thing. And then I'll probably offer it as a subscription, but I want to like give everyone a chance to see like, hey, is this for me? I mean, it's like, what, like a little over, it's not very much per class. It's like pretty easy investment to make if it interests you. And I feel like I can guarantee that you're going to improve creatively by going, you know, I feel confident in that. Yeah. So it's up
Cool.
to you. Yeah.
Thanks
for asking. So is there any other questions or anything? And Sejal, did you want to say anything? You don't have to if you're just like, I think it's late there and stuff. So maybe you just want to totally leave your camera off. And thank you, Anu, too, for making it. Cool. All right, well, we're just going to pull some cards, and that's it, basically. So I'm really happy you guys were able to stay for the entire workshop, and I hope you enjoyed it. I really did. So smoky quartz, clearing negativity is the first card. And I love smoky quartz. I don't know if you all are familiar with it, but it's a really beautiful, just, you know, crystal. I have some earrings with it. It says clearing negativity, release negativity from within or around you. Okay. So I feel like tapping into your creativity is going to naturally like release some of this stuff. So that's another positive to it. And the next card is Kyanite. You're going to like this one, hopefully. Make time for self-care. Taking care of yourself is essential right now. So I'm feeling into the like cooked meals, the baths, spa time. You know. So we're going to do 2 more cards because I'm doing them since these ones were upside down. It's usually an indicator to keep going. So peridot, I think is how you pronounce that. Life lessons. You can break free from recurring negative patterns by praying to know the lesson and blessing they contain. And that is something I was going to say for when you're expressing your feelings somehow. The nice thing is that you're putting, you know, either pen to paper or paintbrush, you know, to canvas or whatever. And you're expressing your journey into the truth of your feeling, which is peace. And it can help you break free from the pattern because you're faced with whatever pattern it is like head on, and you're like, oh, if I keep writing like about the pattern, that doesn't feel good, right? So it's like it does help you move past it and create something beautiful because that's what you want to share probably, unless you're one of those artists that wants to share something else, which isn't really my style. So citrine, unnecessary worries. Release the burden of worries by giving them to God for healing and solution. So that's like the end card. And that really speaks to empowerment and abundance perfectly. I had that citrine crystal here in the beginning. You can see they match. So it's a great crystal for abundance. I don't know if you all have some, but that's a nice one to have for that too. So that's going to conclude it for today, I think. Everyone felt good? Okay. Thank you so much for coming. It's really fun. And just, reach out if you have any questions or comments, anything like that.
Thank you, Aldyn.
Thank you. I really learned a lot today.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming and you're welcome. All right. Bye.
Bye.